I'm so delighted to introduce Andrea Marcellus to all of you who are, really in my community. She is an amazing woman. We met this summer and she is on fire, you guys, seriously, on fire to change the health of America. And, like we are a sedentary group of people in many ways with work. And then how do you get in your well-being during your day with fitness and with healthy food choices, particularly if you're working, in a corporate job or in an office, when you just don't have time. Or as Bev mentioned, when I don't think you were here, Andrea, she's sandwiched between, which I think a lot of people are, the old parent who you're
Yeah.
caretaking parent, and then you're caretaking, maybe grandchildren or your own kids. So Andrea, I'm so delighted to introduce you to some of, like, I love these people.
Awesome.
I think we're all here on a mission to feel our best, right? So that we can live our purpose. That's really it. And the vessel is where we start, right? The vessel is the thing we live in. And then, our soul and what we're here to do, it radiates out from how we feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I'm going to let Andrea take away. She's CEO and founder of And Life. And just think about the title of that, right? And Life, not just work, work, work. And so I'm excited. So now I'm going to pin you so that we'll see you in the recording.
All right.
Take it away, my
Well,
friend.
okay. Well, hello, everybody. First of all, Diane, thank you so much for bringing me here and giving me the chance to meet your community. And she is correct. I am absolutely 1,000% on a mission to help America. I really, and that sounds audacious. And I am that kind of person because this matters. We are getting crushed, like physically and mentally right now with the way life is set up, but also about how fitness and well-being are messaged to us as if they're this big deal thing. And you have to totally change everything you're doing. And that's why it just becomes like, I'm already overloaded. Like, I don't have another minute in the day. I don't have an extra ounce of energy. And I'm sure everybody on this call ends up prioritizing all the other people and all the other responsibilities in their life over themselves. And then, we all know what starts to happen. So this is what I specialize in. First of all, I'll just say I have been in fitness and well-being for 30 years. I just turned 50. And so now I am personally, going through that perimenopause and that journey, and a lot of the people I work with. And so if anybody's in that land, I gotcha. But I feel you. But two things are really interesting. One, when I started my career, it was all about exercise. I realized, well, that's not it. And it became about food, and that's not it. And then it became about, oh, wow, if the mind isn't connected to what we're doing and our mind and body are not working in unison and supporting each other in unison, it doesn't matter what kind of a program you try to follow or an approach you try to take to level up physically. It's not going to work and it's not going to last. And the other thing is that we have to respect, every one of you has to give a big hug to how you actually honestly live, what the demands are on your life, your personal lifestyle, what you really like. I mean, there is not a night that goes by that I do not have a glass of wine. I love wine. We need to embrace who we actually are, not the best intentions from some program, and that's really important to me. And the other thing is that I am, about 5 years ago, I shifted from one-on-one work with people and working in a gym to scaling what I do with people one-on-one or in a class format, what I did for most of my career for the masses. And I have 2 digital products. I do all sorts of stuff. As Diane knows, I'm on TV all the time. I'm doing events and things and whatever. And so my point to you is, I am a CEO of a company. I have 2 kids. I don't know what I was thinking when my dog passed away in May. We adopted a puppy. I have always rescued animals, but generally speaking, the strays or the animals I've rescued have been 6 months old. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It was like an 8-week-old puppy. Sure, we'll take it. Oh my God. So when I'm telling you, oh, there's a husband around, there's a bearded dragon, there's just stuff. I'm telling you, I'm in it with you. So I specialize, thank goodness, in practical well-being strategies for busy people, for overwhelmed people, for unmotivated people, and for people who just don't even know where to start. So I'm in your camp. I get it if you're feeling that way right now, because that's my life too. So I am not about to say we all need to be running 5 miles a day and squeezing our own almond milk. That's not going to happen. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is give you 4 really simple strategies that you can start implementing like now, tomorrow, whenever, that really can make a huge difference in your life. And what they're going to do is help you energize, help you feel your best physically and mentally, and do it without affecting your schedule at all. Okay, so these are really strategies for people who have a hard time prioritizing themselves, and that's what we're going to dive into. So first of all, first strategy. We ready? Short burst workouts. This idea that a workout has to be really long to be effective is not only incorrect, it's like, it's just, it doesn't fit most people's lives right now that I know, or, it's just, or they might have the time, but they're exhausted just from being mentally overwhelmed and they're not able to stay consistent. It's not your fault. That's just a reality of where we're at. And the best thing I have discovered over the last 15, 16 years of creating a method that I use now is the power of short burst workouts, where you don't even change your clothes. You're not going to be a big sweaty mess. It's like walking across a parking lot on a hot day. I mean, we do that all the time. And the idea is that what we're going to do is generate energy. You're going to clear your mind. You're going to reduce stress. You're going to release some hormones. I'll talk to you about putting yourself in a hormonally advantaged state. But it also is a top way to prevent yourself from snacking, from having sugar cravings, from having salt cravings, whichever way you bend, and it will increase your hydration. So what is a short burst workout? It is truly any exercise and you're going to repeat it for 60 seconds. So if you want, I do Zooms all the time. Anybody who's game, just feel the power of this with me right now. So let's just get up and do this thing. Okay. I do this all day. I do this with corporations. People do it. Stand up. It doesn't matter. Everybody's Zoom is going to catch them basically in the middle of their stomach. Let's just accept that right now. Okay. So wherever you're at, I just want you to kind of sit back as if you're sitting back in a chair and your hands are on your thighs and you're letting your chest come forward. Okay, so this is called a posterior squat, where we're like sitting back. Even if you have bad knees, we're not putting any pressure on them. We're keeping them in a 90-degree angle because we're letting the chest come forward. All you're going to do is sit back like this and then stand up tall again. And we'll sit back and stand up tall. My legs are wide. My feet are wider than hip width. Why? This is so that we don't put any pressure on the knees. It's easy for absolutely everybody. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this. Work at your own pace. If my pace is too fast for you, then you work at your own. Now, if everybody can, take your arms up overhead. So when you're at home working out, all you need to do to get your heart rate up faster, we don't need to run on a treadmill. We don't need to jog. We just need to get the arms up overhead. So as you can feel, all of a sudden, just from that switch, now your heart rate's coming up. Now just leave them overhead if you can. Just go down and up. You have to be a little careful. Don't start going forward with your knees. Just leave your arms up. You can put them back behind your head if you want. Inhale, exhale. Just stay right here. Now you're really going to feel your heart rate come up just by holding your arms up overhead. How about that? Good, Diane. Diane has modified chair pose. I love this. It's like dropping into chair pose from yoga, What also is happening here is we are undoing what sitting does to us. Let's go 4 more wherever you're at. Inhale, exhale, 3. Connect your breath, exhale, 2. Last one, okay, rest. All right, everybody just kind of stand around. Now let's feel this. Take stock. Do you feel this energy you've generated? So what you've done is you have oxygenated every cell in your body. These legs demanded a tremendous amount of oxygen right away. The heart starts pumping to get that oxygen from your lungs out to your legs. But what happens at the same time? Your brain gets oxygenated, right? So as you feel this right now, you feel your body, you feel alive. Well, let me ask you, what do you feel? Let's go in the chat. See your little chat button down below if you're not familiar with Zoom. A little talkie icon, the chat box comes up. You feel your legs and your heart beating, you feel energized, right? Right, that brain, you oxygenated your brain. Ready for more. Awesome. So I love it. Refreshed immediately, right? This is, yes, awake. So imagine this in that afternoon slump, motivated, right? This is awesome. Imagine this in the afternoon when you're like, I know somebody's a caretaker. I think it's Bev. I overheard that in my little earphones. Like, I just did a big talk at a conference for healthcare advocates last week about all this kind of stuff. And like, imagine, you know, this is a great way when you're like, my dad has Alzheimer's too, so I get this. When you just need a minute, you just need a whoa, you know, look at that, an instant reframe. What we've done is we've released endorphins, but also because we were intentional about it, if you set this intention for yourself, I'm going to do this once in the morning and once in the afternoon. When you show up for yourself, your brain is also going to release dopamine. You will have 2 of your 4 happy hormones working for you on top of the oxygenation. So you're putting yourself at a hormonal advantage, plus you have oxygenated your body, you feel alive. Now let me ask, who here wants to run and eat a big candy bar right now? Anyone? Does anybody want a big bowl of potato chips? Probably not. All you want, and see, I was smart because I knew I was going to do this, so I went and got water beforehand. Some water. That's all you want. So especially imagine the power of this in the afternoon when you would normally go for your M&Ms, or, you know, you'd go for that other cup of coffee, which my coffee's right here. I don't begrudge anybody anything, but imagine I do that because I like it, not because I need it, because I give myself these bursts in the middle of the day and they power me up to be able to do whatever else. So short burst workouts generate energy as everybody feels, right? When you think you have nothing left in the tank, everybody here is kind of done. It's 6 o'clock. It's the end of the day. We're winding down. If you're on the East Coast, it's 9. Wow, second wind. Hello. Reducing stress. What we did just now, and we're going to talk about this a little more, is shut off the fear and anxiety center in our brain for this precious moment while we accomplish this. I'm going to talk about that a little more in a second, but guess what? Nobody was worrying while we were doing this activity. Everything went away for a second. And those short circuits built in the day train your day that it doesn't need to protect you quite as much all the time, which is a great thing because we're sending out less adrenaline and cortisol. I will totally get into that. So, but anyway, short burst workout. Notice if you start doing that a little more, what else are you going to do? You're going to hydrate more. You're going to remember to drink water because that's what you wanted here. And if your body is properly hydrated, guess what that helps? That helps with weight loss. If you're on a weight loss journey, that also helps you think. It helps you sleep. It helps your digestion. Water and air, water and oxygen, the cornerstone of absolutely everything, right? That makes sense. And sometimes, and I'm the worst, by the way, I have an app and it like has reminders in it. I have to set reminders to drink water. I am a 30-year fitness professional and still I don't have that down. So nobody's perfect. But you know, these things help. Okay, so here we go. Second strategy, and we're going to get more into the stress management, and this is a big deal. Get outside. Get outside a little bit every day. I want you to just please Write a note now, like when we hang up tonight, you're going to put in your calendar tomorrow what time you're going to go outside in the middle of your day. Here's why. Green space, not a green wall, but grass and trees, literally grows new synapses in the prefrontal cortex of your brain. What is the prefrontal cortex responsible for? It is responsible for problem solving. It's responsible for your, socialization, for being able to communicate with people. It is responsible for, all importantly, curiosity, positive possibility. And when we activate that part of our brain, that refreshes us immediately. When we are outside breathing fresh air, looking at grass and trees, and the scientists do not understand why this happens, but they can see it and measure it, that it literally grows the front part of your brain. What's happened over the last couple of years between the pandemic and everybody had a different experience of that, whatever that was for you, it was stressful for all of us, right? So the way I describe what's happened, I think in this country, and probably the world, but I'll stay with what I know, is just from that and just from the media every day. And again, whatever your opinions are, whatever you're watching, the media sells time by selling fear and selling what might go wrong and worry, right? That's why we keep watching. Everybody knows this, but we still watch a lot. We still do it. We still get, even if you try not to, you get messaged on your phone about what might go wrong or what is going wrong that you can do nothing about. Our brain was not designed for this much information that we can have no effect on every day, that just causes us to seek answers when there are no answers. It's just a lot, right? It lights up that amygdala in your brain, that fear and anxiety center in your brain. And when you have it coming at you every day from multiple sources, as we did in the pandemic, I like to describe it like this. It's like a part of your brain got over-exercised. So if you came to me because you want to be fit, and I said, let's pick up the heaviest weight you can possibly do. And let's just do this one exercise for 2 years. Let's just do this with the heaviest weight you possibly can for 2 full years. Now, what do you think will happen? You're going to have an awesome bicep. Boy, will that muscle be great. But this muscle and the whole rest of you will not. Your arm will not function. This joint will not function. This joint will not function because the other muscles are out of balance. This is essentially what has happened to our brains in this current time and lifestyle. The worry, the fear and anxiety center of our brains has gotten overdeveloped in relation to the other parts of, I call it the positive brain centers, just in layman's terms. And so getting outside is a way to activate and literally grow the part of your brain that sees what might go right, that refreshes you, that makes you wonder, that makes you curious, that is part of that childlike sensibility we start to lose as adults when we become more and more responsible for knowing the answer all the time. So it seems crazy to go, hey, people come to me because they want to lose weight, they want to get in shape, they want to whatever. And I'm saying, just go outside, like that's a solution. Well, guess what? It really is, because this needs to be in gear and that amygdala needs to be slowed down. It's releasing a ton of adrenaline and cortisol every day chronically. And that adrenaline is speeding you up, making you make choices that are soothing and comforting. Often they have to do with food or with rest. And the cortisol being thrown out slows your metabolism. So what happens is, between the food soothing, the extra rest, and the slower metabolism, we start to gain weight. You add on anybody who's perimenopausal or menopausal into it, perfect storm, right? So we can get out of that, but one of the simple ways is by scheduling time to just get outside every day. Again, that oxygenation, and that will really lend itself. If you get outside and do one of your exercise bursts, fantastic. And you can literally pick any exercise I gave you that squat. You can do a plie. That's the same thing as a squat, just your back is staying straight, the knees go open, right? It doesn't have to be a big, huge deal. And I have tons of videos on this I can help with, but you get the idea. Okay, so the next, and here's a big one, This is one of the biggest strategies, and this one is going to change your game like right away. Afternoon snack. If I asked you what the most important meal in the day is, just raise your hand if you'd say breakfast. Almost everybody's going to say breakfast. In my experience, in my experience, truly, people are pretty good at breakfast. What people are not great at is nourishing themselves in the afternoon. And that is the setup energetically and emotionally for your evening. Burnout and that kind of life exhaustion many of us are feeling happens as a result of being, one, unclear about your personal goals, or two, simply not having the energy for them. What happens to so many of us is we sleep at night, we're fresh in the morning, we give our all to our day, whether it's a career, whether it's, family responsibilities, whatever it is, it's to our day. And then night, that time that's about socializing, that's about whatever it is that's interesting and exciting to you, that time we don't have the same energy for. If we can create balance for that, and then we get into those soothing behaviors, right? That's when we start to let this worry and we think about the things that happened to the day or what didn't go right or what might go wrong or the whatever. It's just kind of batting cleanup on all the to-do list items we didn't get done, or we don't do the to-do list items. We just worry about what we didn't get done. Whatever it is, we start eating and we start sitting there, or you have the glass of wine, but then you have another glass of wine. And, it's just, but it's not really feeding your soul. It's just numbing, right? So what we want to do is make sure to have an afternoon snack that contains a good protein or a beneficial fat, a lean protein or a beneficial fat. This is the setup. If you have any confusion about what those things are, I have whole sheets on them that I give out to people. You could find me, but probably you're pretty well versed in it. But the afternoon snack, if you do that, and it's just a cup of something, it's not a big deal. Think of a cup, okay? Please do that for the next 3 days. Give yourself a high quality afternoon snack. I often suggest leftovers from dinner the night before, or maybe you didn't finish your lunch, and lunch is usually something real. I encourage real foods as much as you possibly can. But that afternoon snack, if you ate something you would have eaten for dinner, something of that quality, right? Every day for a few days, please do that. And then tell me, did you sit there and food soothe the same way at night? Probably not. If you do not go to dinner starving, you go to dinner already like, I'm okay. You will not overeat your dinner. And then when you get to sitting in front of the TV or reading your book or relaxing, you will not go back for thing after thing after thing like we do. And by the way, I have a book. In my book, I go, well, what kind of food personality are you? And I think I wrote 7 of them. I only know it because I know it. I've been all of them. I get it. I know it. I know the drill. So 0 judgment on any of this. It's just like, how do we get ourselves out of it? Right now, your way of getting yourself out of it is, I'm going to do a diet and I'm going to will myself, or I'm doing that thing where I don't eat anything after 8 o'clock. What, do you never have a social life again? I mean, my gosh, like that's just not how we live. You can, it's okay. Everybody learns their own body, but I promise you, just try this. Afternoon snack, high quality foods containing a good protein, a beneficial fat, and you will find that you approach the evening very satisfied and you actually don't want it. We can't have willpower be part of the self-care scaffolding. That's what I say I make for people, the self-care scaffolding. Willpower is not part of that. You don't will yourself to brush your teeth every day. It's uncomfortable. You do it because you feel fresh. Our choices to help us level up physically and mentally have to be the same. They have to be that easy, and they have to eliminate willpower. They have to be all about preference. It feels good. I'll do it. It wasn't a biggie. And it becomes a habit. That's how we create a habit. So does that make sense? Afternoon snack, super powerful. Now here's the B on that. That's a benefit of afternoon snack, but B is because I told you about it, because you know you would be doing it very intentionally to help yourself create work-life balance, to help yourself not need to snooze so much at night and actually have energy for your night so you could do something awesome with your time or something that just feeds your soul a little more. When you show up for that afternoon snack and you make it for yourself, guess what happens? Your brain releases dopamine. This is one of our that's one of our, I told you about it before. That's the second happy hormone in your brain. And that one is from achievement. So just by setting the intention, okay, I'm going to eat an afternoon snack every day. It's going to contain a protein and a beneficial fat, or one or the other. When you show up tomorrow to do that, you're going to get not just the energy from the food, you're going to get dopamine in your brain because you achieved it. You set a goal for yourself, you achieved it. When we start layering tiny goals like that, that's how we're home free. So that feels good. And that's totally doable to everybody here. Yeah? Done? Okay, easy peasy. So that's going to be great. That will also, by the way, reduce sugar and salt cravings at night, which is a big deal, right? So I can't wait to hear about this one. I can't wait to hear the dramatic shift. And then imagine if we are eating less at night by preference, what happens? A lot of this just starts to go. Okay, here's the last little tip. It's also relates to stress management and then how that's going to help you. So everybody throw in the chat something that would take only, say, 20 minutes to do, but it just gets backburnered all the time. So for me, I got like always, the missing socks. Touching up the trim paint. I keep this white paint around because my kids make a mess on my baseboards. Calling a friend, organizing your desk, probably more than 20. Paying bills, that's right. Writing your friends. Oh, I love that one. Writing your friends and family. That's going to be a double whammy. Clean the house. I know it, right? Okay, so we all have a something. Ooh, who wrote meditating? Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. The next time something comes along that makes you feel super stressed out, it's super triggering. Like you literally feel that feeling. Okay, so we have this vagus nerve that goes from the, your brainstem essentially down to your gut and connects to your lungs, connects all throughout, longest nerve in your body. When you have a gut feeling about something, that is for real. It is, we all know what that feels like oh, I feel so guilty. Oh, I'm so upset. Oh, I'm so worried. You feel it. Okay. The next time you have something where you feel that and your mind is going to start spinning and you just feel that yucky. Okay. I want you to go do this task. Set a timer for 20 minutes. You only get 20 minutes. You have to set the timer because we work better with deadlines. We work way better. You only get 20 minutes for this task. But what happens is by doing this task, you will be activating that prefrontal cortex of your brain. Every one of these things will cause you to have to think. Even calling the friend that's listening, responding, that activates this. Cleaning the house, anything organizational, that's like mini problem solving. This goes here, this goes there. Do I need this anymore? I don't. What happens is your brain cannot multitask. So during these moments, that amygdala shuts off. It stops shooting out adrenaline. It stops shooting out cortisol for a minute, for that precious little while. Again, it's kind of a safety relief valve, right? So just like the little exercise bursts, but this one also helps give you that sense of accomplishment in your day. You're getting something that just kind of weighs on you like a hangnail that you're never getting done. So anxious energy is just energy. And if we can, as a habit, say, okay, I'm not going to sit and stew in this. I'm also not going to just sit here and call somebody and tell them about it and repeat it and give it more air. Rather than that, I'm going to take this anxious energy, not judge it, and say, well, great, I have a burst of energy. I'm going to channel it and use it to get one of these things done that I never get done. Because the fact is, at that point, you're no good for anything. You're not going to be able to work. You're just churning. So you might as well take that energy and use it for a positive purpose, for something you have said on your list you would like to get done. And that is where twofold. One, you are getting yourself again at a hormonal advantage. We're activating the positive brain centers. You're going to get a release of dopamine for completing the task. If your task is connecting with a friend or writing a friend, family, one of those, that releases serotonin. Anything where we're bonding with another person. There's a lot of serotonin floating out in this room right now as people feel, my words and feel like I'm saying things. Anything I say that resonates for you, that releases serotonin, puts you at a hormonal advantage. That's why these kind of community things are great. So even writing your friends and family, we're getting that dopamine, we're getting that serotonin, and we are now not having so much cortisol thrown out. And we've taken that energy that would have just dragged us down and we would have numbed or comforted. And we have done something positive with that energy instead. Really, really, really helpful. And the last thing I want to tell you is this one. If you could write in the chat one thing you would like to know more about. Like, I do cooking videos all the time. I make these recipes that take no time, superfood recipes for busy people. And I am completely self-taught. So I would love to actually take, I should watch some knife skills videos and make sure I'm doing them right. Whatever it is for you. You'd love more short burst exercises. I'll give you some more. They're good, right? Oh, read about that. Something fun. I'll give you more short burst exercises. I know I end up doing research on all this stuff too. Something fun, something like a skill you have that you wish you were better at, something you're curious about, like flower arranging. Love it. Tango, yes. Making bean to bar chocolate. Nice, Shannon. That's amazing. Yep. All right. So the idea is this. Yes, more creative time. That's why we have Diane. I want that chocolate. Everybody does. Now we know what the next class is, Diane. So, okay. The next time you're triggered, the last thing you're going to do, I challenge you, and you might just start to do this for a week. Rather than scrolling, you find yourself scrolling Instagram or Facebook or whatever. The next time you stand up to do that, would you do me a favor? Shut that app down and go to Google and Google your thing and watch a 10-minute video on your thing. Watch the 10-minute video on the, whatever. Maybe it's a different method to make the bar chocolate. Maybe flower arranging. I love that. I love gardening. Go watch something. I have all these plants that are new indoor plants that are not looking right. And I don't know why. I need to take a minute to go look at that, see what I'm doing wrong, whatever it is. But what it is putting yourself in the position of being a student. As I mentioned before, as adults, and you all know, we are, I don't know what age it happens, but somehow that scale shifts where now we are responsible for answers. We're responsible for answers all the time. We are paid for answers. Our kids and family look to us for answers. Our friends, lean on us for answers. It's answers, answers, answers. And we love giving them. We love showing up. We love it's not a problem, but there's a tremendous opportunity in creating time for yourself to be a student. Because when you're a student, that prefrontal cortex gets activated, hippocampus, the cerebellum. these positive brain centers, what happens when you're a student? You absolve yourself of that responsibility to know. You allow yourself to let go of your ego. You are intentionally saying, hey, I don't know. Let's find out. You're practicing that part, the I don't know part, and it's okay not to know part. We have to re-practice these things. We forget that it's okay. We are so accustomed to having to have the answers that, and we just make up the answers. I'm queen of making up the answers, if because it's uncomfortable for me not to have the answers. So intentionally putting yourself in the role of the student as often as you can keeps your own ego in check, reduces your stress level, and boy, does it inject fun into your life. And the other thing about it is that it gives you stuff to talk about. You've just learned something, and what do you want to do when you learn things except share it? I mean, and then our conversations with our friends and our coworkers and our loved ones are not just churning what's wrong or things in the world we have no control over. It's good news. It's like, hey, oh my gosh, I just tried a whole new recipe to make chocolate bars from the bean. Like, I'm so proud of myself. You've got to try it. And I've made 3 varieties and I can't wait to make more. What a fun conversation that is, instead of, oh my God, can you believe what Putin's doing in Ukraine? We can't do anything about that. I mean, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So it's a choice, but the fact is we're out of practice. So we actually had to schedule it to go learn something so you can share it. And then again, when we share it, what happens? Serotonin. So basically, in this very, what I hope was an unexpected kind of time together where we're promising you strategies to take care of yourself, and it's coming from a fitness expert who specializes in weight loss. And I know you were probably expecting, okay, we're going to do this and this and these exercises and that. No, we're going to get our brain in gear. You're going to set yourself up to be less stressed because you put in checks and balances throughout the day for your own stress level. You're putting in checks and balances throughout the day to put yourself at a hormonal advantage. And everybody that wants to know more about menopausal hormones and that stuff, it starts right here with getting that amygdala under control, less cortisol out in the body. Yes, there's food things we can do for that too, and that whole thing. But really, let's start with your stress level. Let's start with injecting more fun in your life. Let's start with energizing and having the energy for yourself. Let's start there, because I promise you, once this is feeling better and we get some of these habits in place, the rest follows. So Diane, those are my little strategies that I wanted to suggest. We could open it for questions, and I definitely will show you a couple more exercises.
Okay, listen, thank you for all that you've shared. And it
You're welcome.
definitely is not what I would have thought, because
Right?
you're really speaking to the hormone impact, not just perimenopause and menopause, but really the whole, it really is about that. So yeah, do you gals, we're all gals, have any questions?
Andrea, what's with the missing socks piece?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Like, my kids, I don't know where the socks go. I really, really don't. I cannot tell you how many socks I end up purchasing. And then so what happens is I have a drawer. My son's top drawer becomes where all the missing socks in the house go. And then occasionally I just try to pair them up. And then whatever doesn't have a pair on that day, I throw out because it's too upsetting.
Who's to say you have to have matching socks? What if they wear mismatched socks?
My son agrees with you. I need a certain level of organization to feel okay.
I get it.
There's a question in the chat. Could you go over the list of things to do quickly? Just like
yes, I would love it. 1, short burst workouts. And I would appreciate it if you would, in your schedule when we get off, say, just put them in your schedule, because as a mentor of mine says, things get scheduled, get done. And And learning to show up for yourself is actually a thing to learn. So schedule it, okay? Second one was the get outside. Please schedule that as well. Okay, and you get the idea here. I'm injecting throughout your day, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, to set you up for what? A really great evening where we're going to learn something new. The third one was afternoon snack.
Protein
And that protein and
Not ice
beneficial
cream.
fat. You know, in my world, a legit afternoon snack, just so you understand, is you can have just use your teaspoon, not your tablespoon, in your peanut butter or your favorite nut butter, and grab some good quality 70% dark chocolate chips, smack it on there, or put
Ooh,
them in
yum.
thing. Chocolate has more antioxidants than blueberries. It's legit superfood if you get a good quality chocolate and you're worth it.
Chocolate for
Please get that.
breakfast, people. Chocolate for breakfast every day. I kid
So
you not.
my daughter would love it. My daughter would.
Good,
She would
four.
love you.
Let's keep going. So
And then four
short
is
version, get outside.
snack. Four is the what do you want to know more about? Learn. Four is learn. Either do or learn. Do or learn. So anytime you feel that anxious energy coming up, your two choices are do or learn, because immediately they will stop that outpouring of cortisol and adrenaline, those two activities. And just we need that to stop so that you don't just stew or soothe. I've never said that before. Do or learn so you don't stew or soothe. So those four. So do you guys want a couple more of those exercises you can do? We might as well balance it out.
Yes,
now. I'm
please.
feeling like I need to be balancing. Okay, so this one I call Dusk Down Dog. So imagine it's your desk here. I'm just going to use my little stool. All you're going to do is keep your knees. So always feet hip width apart. And remember, we're doing this cold. You're not warmed up. So you kind of, that's why we do this kind of a squat, very gentle. You know, we're not doing anything CrossFit-y here. And this one is going to be, so imagine down dog. We know what that is. Well, you're going to slide your hands out over your desk and you're going to try to drop your head and your chest through your arms. We're releasing through here. When we release the pectoral muscle and the anterior deltoid in here, guess what that releases? The back of the neck. You know, when we sit here and work, we get that headache because of all the tension from here. But what you want to do is have somebody come and like jam their thumbs in there and release that. Well, it's a temporary fix. The problem's coming from here. So if we release these muscles and we fix your posture, we release your hamstring, get your pelvis back in alignment, much better. So desk down dog. So you just take this position, keep your knees slightly bent, you'll find it. And then you're just going to stand up tall. And you have to do this one slower. Inhale, exhale, connect your breath. Inhale, exhale. Absolutely keep the knees slightly bent, even if you're somebody super flexible. I'm super flexible, my knees are bent. But from doing that, if you do the other one, the squat, and you do that, well, now we've balanced out the legs because you're really going to feel your hamstrings, and it's the glutes that make you stand up straight. It's your glutes. Inhale, exhale. These glutes that kind of get too much time sitting, they need to be strong. So that's a great way to balance that out. That's a great one.
And so listen, we are right at 6:45, and
right.
I'm a little bit of a time capsule person, just honoring people's you know, schedules and all of that.
Can I tell them about the special surprise?
Yes. So I also want to tell you guys, this has been recorded and we'll send it to you. So you'll have this and do that because there's more.
Here's the super special surprise. So talking with Diane, and like she's become just like one of my new favorite humans. And I said, well, so I have this event I do sometimes, and what I would like to do is give you a link to come and sign up for this. It's a free event. If you like these kind of things, and if this kind of stuff is resonating for you and making sense for you, this event is called How to Lose the Weight, Body and Mind and double your energy in 6 weeks. And I'm going to give you guys my top 4 strategies that I give my clients here in LA. Well, now I'm doing it nationally, but that the top 4 things you can really do that have to do more with food, with your approach to exercise, with life, like what you were thinking you were going to get today, but all with that same thing. There's always that connection to your mind and that connection to being at a hormonal advantage. So that is, I'm going to command V. Here is the link to go register for that.
I'll send this in the email.
And she can send it in the email to you.
I'll send it.
Go sign up. It's going to be, what did we decided it would be Monday the 10th, since Monday seems to be a good time.
Same time, 6 to
yeah,
7, probably. Yeah.
And so it's going to be great. It's going to be more of this, but it's just stuff that you can easily fit into your life, some strategies to really help you feel your best.
And Andrea, I also want to tell you guys, check out her website, because you have a lot of videos and things that people can just.
You know what? The best thing to check out is YouTube. I have a ton of videos on YouTube, but the on Instagram, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. If you find me on Facebook, I have a group. You find me personally. Here's my name.
In the email.
Yeah, you can. And I'll let you into my group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, let's do that, because yours really actually has to go.
Yeah, I know. We all have to go.
A piece of art down at Terrain, Spokane people. So
amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Andrea, thank you so much. Before you guys
welcome.
go, thank you so much for your energy and sharing all of this and
absolutely
meeting people, and give her a little round of
yay.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope this was helpful, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys at the event on the 10th.
Thank you all.
Thank
okay.
you. Bye.
Bye,
Oh
everyone.
my goodness. Thank you. Wow. All right. Well, Anne, gonna have to see you. And Lorette. All right, I'm gonna go because I have to go drop my art, and I'll see you all later. Yeah, thanks for being here.
Sounds good. Congratulations on Terrain.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.